So the time has come for us to have a really good conversation about growth hormone. I don't talk about growth hormone enough. The science on fasting and growth hormone is amazing. Growth hormone serves you in so many ways, and you get less of it after 30. So this is a really important hormone for both men and women, and on this video, we're gonna dive in and talk about what the science is saying about growth hormone. Ready? I'm excited for this one because this has been a long time coming. So here we go. Let's dive in. First, I think we should talk about what growth hormone does. So I'm just going to give you my favorite things that it does. First, when growth hormone goes up in our body, it burns fat, it slows aging down, and it's a precursor for your sex hormones. So both men and women need growth hormone to make their sex hormones. Now, I want to remind you all, if you didn't get the memo, or you are new to my channel, I want to remind you that men are primarily driven by testosterone. Testosterone will then convert to estrogen in the brain, whereas women have to make testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen through the thecal cells of their ovaries, and growth hormone becomes a signaling molecule for telling the ovaries to make it's a cascade of chemical events. Men, growth hormone is also a signaling molecule. It's coming from your brain, going down to the outer part of your testes, telling your brain to make testosterone. So it is really, really important. And here's, you want to know the bad part? Here's the bad part. Your body starts to slow down its production of growth hormone after 30. That's if there was one part of aging, where do you start aging? It would be around 30. So here's how we can start to bring growth hormone back up. Now, this is not a conversation of let's get as much growth hormone as we possibly can so we can maximize our hormones and our fat burning and slow down aging. It's not how hormones work. We want to come back into balance with our hormones. So what we can do to get some naturally producing growth hormone, 7 things. I got 7 things for you. Okay, here we go. Let's start with one of the greatest ways to bring growth hormone back. It's not fasting yet. It is high intensity exercise. So here's what because I know so many of you ask me like, give me like the how do I make this actionable? Okay, here you go. Here's the actionable item. That high intensity exercise where you do 10 intervals of 15 seconds, pedaling all out. This is as fast as you can go with a 1-minute active rest in between each set improves growth hormone. When you go run, let's just break this down for a moment. When you go run or you go exercise or whatever your choice of exercise is, yeah, you're burning calories. Yeah, you're lowering cortisol. There's a lot of greatness there. But if you want to get growth hormone, you're going to need to up your intensity for short periods of time, giving yourself about a minute break in between. It feels really weird when you do it and you feel like you're not necessarily working out hard enough, but that's how you get growth hormone. Remember, our bodies are a science experiment. And so if you're not, if you're aging faster, you're not burning fat the way you want to, and your sex hormones are a hot mess, let's look at less exercise with different intensity. Okay, the number 2 is adequate sleep. So this is really interesting. You make growth hormone, the little bit that you make after 30, at night when you're sleeping, especially if you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep and if it's good quality sleep. So good quality sleep, in my book, means we're getting at least an hour and a half of REM, and we're getting between an hour and 2 hours of deep sleep. That's a quality sleep, much more than just the total sleep. Although this, the study that I will put in the notes was 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. So if you want more growth hormone, make sure you're sleeping, which actually makes sense. I think I've shared this before, and we've talked a lot about gray hair on this channel. And I notice when I travel a lot and I'm not getting enough, I'm not getting the right amount of sleep, I'm in and out of different time zones, that I end up with lots of new gray hairs. And when I come back home and I start fasting again, I sleep better, believe it or not, all those gray hairs start growing in dark again. So super cool. And so let's make sure we sleep. Okay, third thing that's gonna help you with growth hormone is fasting. And honestly, I think this is one of the best ways to get growth hormone, but let me tell you what the studies say. So intermittent fasting, which is a lot of different variations variations. When I dove into the studies, for some of these studies are really saying that it's a 24-hour fast. So that alternate day fasting, which I think a lot of you do, where it's like one day of no fasting, eat whatever you want, next day you fast. And then one day of no fasting, next day you fast. Or this article that I'm going to leave a link here for quoted the 5-2, which a lot of you do, which is eat normal for 5 days and then 2 days a week you don't eat anything. So I think it's pretty important when we're looking at growth hormone, we got to get into some of those longer fasts. It's got to be 24 hours or more. But here's what the study that I chose to quote for you all, and it is that you're going to see this was one study done on 47 people, both men and women. They didn't give the ages, that they found a 5-fold increase in human growth hormone with a 24-hour fast. Some other studies will show it takes 2 to 5 days, but this one particular study showed 24 hours, and we see a 5-fold increase in growth hormone. Now, let's think about this through for a moment. Okay, well, what if I'm like really aging fast, I'm holding on to weight, I'm menopausal, and my hormones are tanked? What would happen to those hormones? Could I bring them up to a little more to their age-appropriate level by just throwing some 24-hour fasts in? And the answer is absolutely. So when you go and you look at, there's been studies on growth hormone and fasting for a long time, and when you go and you look at them, I've seen things like 2,000% increase with a 24-hour fast, and then we can equate, hey, that's going to start bringing up the other hormones. But the goal with hormones is never to get too much of them. It's never to have too little. It's always to be balanced, which is why I chose to pick this study, because I wanted to make sure that you understood it's not a percentage, it's a 5-fold, because your body's going to do what's right for you. Okay. Next thing we got to talk about with growth hormone is protein. We need a protein-rich diet. I keep saying this over and over and over again, and for some reason, people think that if you're pro-protein, you're anti-fasting. No, you can combine the best of both worlds. Fasting is going to help to promote autophagy, which cleans things up. Protein is going to help promote mTOR, which builds things. But when it comes to growth hormone, protein, specifically at night, can stimulate the release of growth hormone while you're sleeping. What does that mean? Okay, that means that you're burning fat, you're slowing down aging, and you're balancing sex hormones all while you're sleeping. Sign me up for that. So, but you gotta eat a protein-rich diet at night. The study did not say how much, but here's what protein does, is it helps you break down, it gives you amino acids. When it breaks down into amino acids, that will be precursors for human growth hormone. So you can't think of all of these hormones are like a chemistry lab, and your body's like, hey, I'm over here, I gotta make some human growth hormone, but I need some amino acids. Where am I gonna find some amino acids? So it goes looking in what you bring into through your diet, and when it finds protein, it will break that protein down into amino acids, and it will make growth hormone. And if you do that at night, you're making growth hormone, having all the benefits of that can give you. So protein-rich diet. Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free. And it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool. And it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy. Okay, next one is an avoid. It is reduce your sugar intake. I don't really have much to say on this other than what the research is showing is high sugar levels. This doesn't mean like a dessert every once in a while can inhibit growth hormone. Well, that's true. When people eat more sugar, you're aging faster, you're gaining more weight. There's so many challenges with too much sugar. So it doesn't surprise me that reducing sugar would actually inhibit growth hormone production. So if you want more growth hormone, get off the sugar. Okay, last two. These are nutrient specific. So supplements. What supplements would you take? Well, the biggest precursors for growth hormone are L-arginine and L-ornithine. Okay, I don't take a lot of L-ornithine, but I do. We actually have in my house, we have a container of L-arginine, and I put it in my smoothies a lot. And the reason that these two specific are really important is because they are precursors to to growth hormone. So if I go back to the protein one, how about we could take these supplements before we go to bed, because we make protein at night when we go to bed. And stick with me through this video because I want to put this all together into a really easy thing that you can look at in a day. And then the last one was interesting. I wanted to put it in here because it's one of my favorite neurotransmitters, and it's GABA. And you know, where I found the research on this one was recommending GABA supplements, but do you know you can get GABA from 4-7-8 breathing? So just breathing in through the nose for 4, holding for a count of 7, and then out through the mouth for 8 is going to help produce GABA. And what our initial research is showing us is that GABA may also be a precursor to growth hormone. Okay, so now let's put this all together in your fasting lifestyle. Are you ready? Okay. For starters, high intensity exercise. I like doing that in the morning, and we do it in our Reset Academy every Saturday morning. So if you want to know how to do that, join my academy. We can show you how to do that. So you do a high intensity exercise in the morning after a good night's sleep. Okay, then maybe you intermittent fast that day after the exercise. Maybe go a couple more hours. Then you open up your eating window. You make sure it's protein rich. You're getting plenty of protein. You're not eating any sugar that day, and maybe you take some supplements. Some L-arginine might be great. Throughout the day, you do some GABA, some 4-7-8 breathing so you can get GABA. And then maybe you come back in with a really good protein-packed dinner 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. Now you've taken all of those principles together and you put them in a daily routine that's going to get you the most growth hormone you can get for your age. There you go. That's growth hormone. Let me know if you want more information on that. And I really encourage you to try a lot of these steps. There's so much great information out now about aging and how we can turn back the hands of time, and I think these are some pretty good ones. So let me know if any of these have worked for you. Put it in the comment. Hope that helps. I know you're struggling to lose weight. It may be your fasting length. So in this video, I'm going to show you the perfect fasting length to unstick weight loss. In fact, it's such an incredible tool for weight loss. I think you should start with fasting before you change your food to be able to get into that door in for losing weight.